Greetings, everyone. Hi, it's me, Ms.Blue, the Oracle. Now, as you know, we are about to dive into Planet Remix. And as we get ready to get into the cipher, I do want to let you know that it is Planet Remix, and a lot of times we cover adult content. So at this time, if you have anyone who's a minor, I would suggest that you put your headset on or get yourself in a place where you can enjoy your time on Planet Remix. But until then, put the babies out, do what you need to do so we can be responsible while knowing our magic. This show, this information, we dive into a lot of things that are adult content. And so therefore, if you are a minor, I want you to stop what you're doing right now. And I definitely want you to get your parent or your guardian's consent before diving into the remix. Well, enjoy. Enjoy the share. Yeah, and keep knowing your magic. We just gotta be responsible while growing up on planet Earth. Peace and greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome on in to Planet Remix Radio. I am Ms.Blue, the Soulful Oracle, and I want to welcome you all in. Peace and greetings, everyone. How are we all feeling? How are we all doing? Welcome on in. Oh my goodness. It seems like it's been a minute. It seems like it's been a minute since we've been able to come together, get together, connect together on the remix. Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Can you believe that we are about to cross over into April already? It is already about to be April. We have entered into Eclipse season, which we will be going into Eclipse season on the 25th. The 25th of this month, we will be having our first lunar eclipse. And then we will be followed by the blast of the eclipse on April the 8th, which will be the second eclipse. Wow. Peace and greetings, Soul Family. Welcome, 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 welcome on in to Planet Remix Radio. I am your host, of course, Ms.Blue, the Soulful Oracle. Welcome in. I do want to let you know the phone lines are open, so you are certainly more than welcome to get on the phone lines. I'm going to give out those cosmic directions in a minute. But honestly, I would have came on a little earlier. I just had some things that I was still taking care of, but I wanted to come on really, really early today and check in with you guys. It's been a pretty busy week for me. Of course, and where's my manners? Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, because we actually crossed over into the equinox on the 20th. On the 20th, I think you could probably feel that energy once we crossed over into Aries. And it was just this sort of beautiful, powerful shift, as I call it, that we made into this energy. Like we just kind of snapped on into it. So I trust that you all are doing well. I trust that you were able to get out, get some fresh air, take a look at the sky, take a look at some flowers, or take a look at something in nature somewhere near where you're living, no matter what part of the world you're in. So good morning, good night, good afternoon, good evening, all that good jazz. I do want to tell you this before we get ready to get started and I start taking some calls. As you guys know, like the whole world is preparing for this solar eclipse. I think the next time we'll have this alignment somewhere like 372, 74 years from now. Like it's for sure going to be another lifetime. It'll be another lifetime for sure when this energy is here. And as many of you know, I stay in the path of totality. By the way, if you are in the path of totality, like let's see what we're going to put. Put a hand up. If you're in the path of totality, where the solar eclipse is going to be going through, raise a hand if you're in the blue room and you live somewhere on the planet and you are in that pathway of totality. As you know, it's going to be marking X marks the spot. We did a show about this some years ago when we had the first path of totality come through. But if you are living somewhere near that pathway, put a hand in the blue room to let me know. Let me know. I want to check in and make sure that we're still live. You all can still hear me if you're going to be somewhere near there. So here's the interesting thing. I was going out yesterday to pick up a few things. And on my way out, I noticed the sky because I live in the Austin area. And when I looked at the sky, I could have sworn, like literally, it was like this feeling came over me. Now I'm driving in the car. And all of a sudden I look out in the sky. And when I look up, I can see the clouds and I can see the sun behind the cloud. But the sun is not really the sun. The sun is the moon. I promise you, yesterday, I seen the solar eclipse in Texas. I seen it. I witnessed it. It got really, really dark for like a few seconds. The whole scenery changed. And then all of a sudden, it started to get bright again. The wind started to pick up, like really, really heavy wind. The temperature dropped tremendously. Like we might have went from 70 to down to close to the 50s within seconds. I experienced this. And I kept saying, I'm going to pull over. I'm going to get a video. Because I'm like, is anybody else seeing this or experiencing this? Literally, I seen the solar eclipse because I kept looking and saying, that's not the sun, but it's not the moon either. And it was very, it was like the sun was it was like the moon was being illuminated by the sun, but it was very, very translucent and you could see completely through it. You could see completely through it. I could see completely through the sun and the moon right there, all in one space. I, sort of checked to see. I didn't see anybody make any reports on it or say anything about it, but I'm telling you, either I went forward into the future to see what it's going to be like, but I absolutely seen it. By the way, they're telling everyone, at least here in Texas, they're telling us, stock up on food. Now, I want y'all to hear me. This is for the solar eclipse. Make sure you stock up on food, have plenty of water. If you have medical supplies, get that ahead of time. Don't rely on anything for the internet. The internet may be going out. They say it's going to be a lot of people in town for this observation. I was hoping Neil deGrasse Tyson would come in town because, as you all know, He does a lot of, observatory studies and, him being studying in astronomy. I don't know all of his credentials, so I don't want to discredit him. But I got an invitation from a friend of mine to ask me if I wanted to come to Dallas because he's actually going to be in Dallas and they're doing a free sort of at one of the big Superdomes there. I don't know if it's going to be there at one of the stadiums, but Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to be on hand and they're going to be talking about, and people are having watch parties that are larger than any Drake, Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, Beyonce concert that you can imagine. That you can imagine. So people are trekking from all over the world, absolutely all over the world, to witness this. And so I thought back to, and they're sort of predicting this is probably going to be one of the largest astrological sort of gathering in our century. In our century. And I thought, why? Why? And a beautiful answer, it didn't come when I asked why, of course, but the beautiful answer floated in because we know that we have moved into a different state of consciousness on the planet. And there was a time that we really, really, most of the people on the planet, a lot still do, believe that what was happening in the sky as far as the planets absolutely had nothing to do with us. Meaning we could observe it, we can see it, and yeah, that's cute to see the stars. It's cute to follow the moon. It's cute to understand what the sun is doing. It's cute when we can see Venus rise in the sky. It's cute when Mars sort of shows a glimpse or Jupiter comes close enough or, any of the other planets. But now they absolutely know that this absolutely is connected to us. And I think whether people understand that from a conscious level or from a subconscious level, it is something in their spirits that is waking them up to the greater essence of humanity as a whole. Absolutely. Not to mention, and thank you for that, King, about there's going to be a comet that is going to pass right in front of it. So we got a lot going on. And I guarantee you, whatever you're feeling, whatever is coming up for you, that is happening. That is happening. I also took a look and I noticed that a lot of laws are changing. And they're going into effect like 2006, 2007. Like a lot of things are shifting. In the next couple of 5 to 6 years, we probably will not be able to recognize this world. Much like our parents used to tell us, or when you were growing up, your parents would say to you, it's a different world. When we were coming up, this is what we used to do. Or your grandparents would talk to you about how they would have to walk so far to school and, the different way that they were living. Guess what? We're going to have a whole new world here. A whole new world. We know it's changing. We know things are happening. All of these things are going on. But right now, isn't it just a beautiful thing to know that the changes that are going on, that you're actually a part of that change and you have absolutely caused. Let me say that again. You have actually caused some of the powerful, more elevated changes that are happening in the world. Your consciousness matters. Your consciousness matters. What you think, what you feel, what you take action on, what you do, what you do not do, what you think, all of these things matter. And it's really sort of propelling us forward. So that's something I think we all can celebrate at this particular time. That we all can celebrate that. We are just not here as observers. We are truly a part of the light workers. We are truly a part of the higher self society that is moving things forward, that is moving humanity and consciousness forward. And we're doing it while being responsible while growing up on planet Earth. I think that's beautiful. That is really, really beautiful. So I wanted to just kind of share that with you all and check in with you and see how you're doing. It's been a pretty, listen, these last 2 weeks have been so busy. I want to kind of give a couple of announcements, kind of give some updates on some things, but I definitely want to welcome you all in. Welcome into Planet Remix Radio. I am Ms.Blue, the Oracle. Yeah. Proud to say that in for so many ways. Proud to say that. That was sort of a flashback from another lifetime that I know that I was not able to really come out as my true and authentic self. I was having a conversation in the store the other day, and the woman asked me, she said, "What do you do?" And for a moment, I would always lean back on my career, my corporate career title, because it was just so easy to not have that conversation and go into those discussions. But I simply looked at her and I said, I'm a medium, a psychic, and an energy healer. And she stood there for a second and she gave me a hug. And she said, "Wow, it's so nice to meet you. I know a little bit about those things, but so nice to meet you. Is there any way we can exchange numbers?" And I said, "Sure, we sure can. Yeah, we sure can." So I say that to you all because I know some of you too, even though we carry many different titles that we have, and all of them are true to who we are. Absolutely, every single one is true to who we are. So it's not about one is greater than the other, but it's about which one is sort of kind of calling you up front. What essence is sort of kind of moving you to the forefront of where you are? And how are you owning that in your day-to-day life? Not when you're with your soul family, not when you're just in front of somebody. Are you embodying all of who you are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And really doing that from a very conscious perspective. So I wanted to kind of give that to you all and share that with you. That's right. It is definitely time for all of us to do the thing and do it in a big way. I want to put this announcement out there, but I will be giving you all details. Remember, I told you earlier this year, I want to kind of stand on my word that I am going to be doing a live event. That is still happening. I am working out all of the logistics. As soon as some things are secured and things are mapped out, I'm going to let you know the city, the state, the location, the place, all of this good stuff. I have had quite a few requests come in, and some international requests. If you all have a request for me to come to your city, your state, your country, where you live, send me an email at questionforblue@gmail.com. Because I am going to be doing a few cities. I don't know how many at this time, but I do have some spiritually strategic places in the world that is going to be coming through. And thank you for that, King Simon in the building, because those two places are on the top of my list that I have been requested to come. And I would love to connect with you on that. I definitely could use that support. But I want you all to know that I will be making my presence. I will, as soon as everything gets wrapped up, I'm going to let you know the nature of the business of all of us coming together. It's telling you the show is not scheduled. There's a whole bunch of people on the phone lines. A whole bunch of people on the phone lines. So perhaps, I don't know why it would tell you it's not working. Because there is a whole lot of people on the phone lines. Maybe the lines are full. I will check that in a minute. But I wanted to put that out there. I am so excited to meet, to see you all in person and to connect with you. I am overjoyed with it. A little nervous, a little scared, but I'm excited. Nonetheless, I am super, super, super excited as well. So I wanted to put that out there. And I want to say welcome to everyone in the Blue Room. Let's get those likes up. Please, let's get those likes up. King Simon, I will be reaching out to you. Shouts out to the brother King Simon as well. And also, I'm going to ring the bell. Ring the bell for self-invested and for everyone who's self-invested. Hopefully you could hear the bell. I hope you could hear the bell. Could you guys hear the bell when I ring the bell? If you're able to hear the bell. Yes, no, maybe so. Sorry. And the next thing had to get a little liquid magic in there. Want to give a big shout out to everyone who received and purchased their Starlight Essence kit. We had an amazing call with everyone who's on the call. Don't worry, I will be getting the replays out for those of you who could not make it live. For all the things that we covered in the Starlight Essence Cosmic Call to talk about the liquid magic. I've been getting your emails and your testimonies as you're working with the liquid magic. And I couldn't be more honored and more grateful for all of you who are doing this very, very transformative and very powerful work. Very powerful work. Now, I want to give some cosmic direction so you can find your way on over. 515-605-9794 is the number to call. That's going to get you locked in. If you're on the phone lines and you want to talk to me, Ms. Blue, press 1 once you get on the phone lines. Once you press 1, that's going to let the system know that you are on the phone lines and you would like to speak to me. I am going to be doing open live calls tonight to do some sessions with you all. Some psychic sessions tonight, some intuitive sessions with you and take your calls. We're going to be doing that. And then also, if you want to come over and join us in the galactic famous Blue Room, just come on over to YouTube. And once you get to YouTube, you're going to type in Blue, B-L-U-E, and then Raz, R-A-S, and then Berry, B-E-R-R-Y, and you can come on in. I definitely want to give a shout out to our moderator in the building. Brother Lance is in the building holding it down. Welcome on in, Brother Lance. He is the moderator for the Blue Room, along with Lola Falana. and Mr. Dante, which I'm sure they will be joining us perhaps here soon. I know this is a little bit of pop up magic, so forgive me. Forgive me for some pop up magic here, but I want to send love out to the Soul family as well. My goodness. My goodness. So, we're all doing all right. We doing good. Let's get those likes up so our soul family can find us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget also, wherever you get your podcast at, we are live always when we come on. But if you want to go back and you want to re-listen, you can do that on Apple Music. You can do it on Amazon Music. You can also do it on iHeart Radio. You can do it here on YouTube. You can do it anywhere that you receive your podcast at. Matter of fact, you can subscribe on these platforms as well. And it really, really does help the work out. It helps the community out. It helps me out. For you to do that, I would be grateful. You can also, download it to your Audibles list. If you have Audible and you love listening to Audible, you can connect Planet Remix there, and if you connect it with Audibles or you connect it with Amazon Music or Amazon Podcast, and you say, hey, Alexa, play the remix with Ms.Blue, Alexa will pull it up for you and play it. How cool is that? But welcome everyone on in. We're going to get ready to go to the phone lines, but I do want to do some shots out. We're going to listen to a little bit of Baby Blue, but I want you all to hear some vibrations and some music. It is some very, very powerful energy. We are still in Leo energy at this particular time, and it is just opening up so many different frequencies inside. So we're going to listen to this. And I am so grateful for this very, very custom vibration that was made for me for Planet Remix. And we're going to listen to this. It is called Hypnotic. Here we go. Meanwhile, you can tell me, let's do some shots out. Tell me who you are, where you're calling from, or where you're tuning in from, what city, what state, what country, in the Blue Room, and welcome to Planet Remix. Yeah. Hypnotic. That's my new wake up. Wake up and get things going. Beat. Welcome on in, everyone. Oh my goodness. Welcome on in. Want to give a big shout out to all the divine priestess in the house. Shouts out to Priestess Donna Lee in the building. Shouts out to all the divine priestess listening in. We're going to get ready to go to the phone lines. We're going to listen to a little bit of Baby Blue, and we're going to get started here. Yeah.
La 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 la, the remix. Hey, this is Baby Blue. And remember, if nothing else moves you, life will.
So true. If nothing else moves you, life will. Say it with me. If nothing else moves you, life will. If nothing else moves you, life will. Say it with me. If nothing else moves you, life will. Want to give a big shout out to everyone in the Blue Room. We got some real superstars in the building. Everyone in the Blue Room sending you all so much love. Checking in from all over the globe, all over the world, our international listeners as well. So good to see you, self-invested, divine priestess. Everyone in the building, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to go to the phone lines. I'm going to kind of jump around here. So you all know when I jump around, I got to have a piece of paper so I can remember where I'm going. So 515-605-9794 is the number to call. Press 1 once you get on the phone lines. Have your question ready. Tell us who you are, where you're calling in from. And yeah, that's it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So we're going to go to the caller calling in from area code 4157. 4157, you're live on Planet Remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Okay, greetings to you, Jessica from Pennsylvania. Is this your first time calling in?
I think I spoke to you a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I recognize your voice.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Hopefully, when you called in, it was helpful information for you.
It was, yeah. Do you do astrology too? I think that was the connection.
I do astrology as well, but I will tell you I do astrology and have taught astrology classes, but my main focus is psychic and intuitive energy. Yeah. Did you have a question for me?
You know what? The energy today was kind of weird. I was tired for most of the day. I slept a lot of the day. Mm-hmm. And then around like 3 hours ago, I got kind of like depressed. And I don't like when that happens. I can't like shake it off. I wanted to go to sleep early, and now I'm kind of just like scrolling around on the internet. So
yeah,
not proud of that.
Yeah.
So anything that you can share, I guess, related to, I mean, I don't want to have these little dips because I'm making a lot of good moves in my life right now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, here's the thing that you said you were feeling good, and then all of a sudden you can feel your energy sort of dip. I will tell you this, that energy dip that you felt is something that we're all going to be feeling. And just depending, like you brought up in astrology, it does have a lot to do with your internal makeup. But I think more than anything, here's a couple of things that I'm definitely picking up for you. That you've been doing a lot of work on what I would like to call future goal settings. And these are things that you want to change. A lot of them have a lot to do with your day-to-day life. maybe even incorporating changing food habits or exercise regimens of what you're going to do. It could be, as simple as I'm not going to be, maybe I'll go more into Pilates or do something like yoga or meditating a little bit more. If you've thought about these things, I really see that these are very close to your energy field, as well as you studying deeper into the esoteric and metaphysics and the occult, because this is something you have a natural knack for, a natural knack. Astrology as well. But really, a big part of that is really to understand the energy that is happening behind. And so I don't want you to look at this dip as something sort of negative happening or challenging. But anytime we start to study these things amongst the esoteric, or we begin to become closer connected to the cosmic energy that's happening around us, we become more sensitive to feeling that energy. And so here's what I would like for you to do. The next time you feel sort of this dip coming in, I want you to get real curious and real excited, like, wow, I felt this overwhelming, depressive, sort of sad, sort of downing energy. Possibly, what can I learn from this? What is there to learn? Instead of immediately taking it as something personal, I want you to see what else are you picking up? So you can start to bring some of your intuitive abilities on. For me, it was a little different for me in my learning because I was more a medium, I could say. When I was a child, I could see spirits and all of these different things, like many of us here. And then as I continued, I got more into my psychic abilities. The last thing to come online for me was the astrology piece, for me to begin to start understanding how all of these systems, all of these things are so interconnected, and they're all interconnected to us. So, from my personal point of view and the work that I've been doing, everything is psychic and intuitive work, whether it's astrology or numerology, or, whether we're studying the tarot or the qigong, or, or doing qigong or yoga. All of these different practices sort of kind of bring us back to the center. But really, what I felt is because you are diving deep into these subjects, you're setting new goals for yourself. You got a whole list of things that you want to manifest, you want to create going forward. And a lot of them have to do with understanding universal frequencies and energy. So, whenever you're diving into subjects like that, you're going to become more sensitive. So, if you really check in with yourself, I guarantee you, you were not depressed, but you felt depressed energy. And there's a big difference. And so, I want you to just start getting curious first before you instantly take it as this is something that is happening to you, or this coming from you or coming to you, so you can then begin to start seeing what is it that spirit, your guides, are attempting to teach you about energy.
Right, right. Because I personalized it. Yeah. So, with that said, because you kind of hit on something that has been on my mind, so I'm newish in this area, in this state,
Mm-hmm.
and you said the word manifesting, and so I am a spiritual teacher and a healer
Mm-hmm.
as well, and I, like I said, I'm new in this area, and I'm out. I went from doing a lot of healing work, being sort of in hermit mode,
Yes.
because that's usually what happens when you're doing a lot of healing. And then I was put out, I've been out with the people a lot. And what I keep noticing is on how people are very spiritually devoid here. And I had mentioned to someone the other day, yeah, I'm teaching these classes about how to manifest. And something occurred to me, and I said, do you know what that word means?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know what it meant. And that's sort of, so it's very like basic. I don't, on one hand, I know why I'm here. On the other hand, I sort of question, why am I here in this area? Because they have no spiritual basis at all. And I'm a more advanced teacher, so I'm not going to back it up and do all these little baby steps and these baby teachings. So are you picking up anything with that? I mean, it seems like,
Well, I
yeah.
and thank you for the confirmation. Two things I would say to you. Did you recently relocate to this place?
I've been here for 8 months, so yes.
So you recently, and what was the initial relocation reason?
Well, I moved to Pennsylvania 2 years ago because I wanted to be in the country and sort of off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
But then spirit and my soul moved me to these very city type areas. And this area that I'm in now, I've been here for 8 months. So this was just a soul mission on why I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of plant some energy of enlightenment in this area. But it seems to be a lot maybe more energetic or just having conversations with people rather than actually me at this point teaching my classes. I mean, I think it's going to turn into that, but
Well,
I just find
I
myself questioning a lot,
yeah. And it's okay to
Yeah.
question. It's okay to question. We are in questioning times. Trust me. Here's the thing I would like for you to do, because clearly you haven't met everyone. You're meeting people. You haven't met everyone in that area. And you can teach a class. I teach classes to people all over the world, as far as Russia, China, New Zealand, parts of Africa, on the continent of Asia, Australia. I have students from all over the world in all walks of life. So teaching a class can be done from any absolute location. But I want you to stick with this, whether you stay there or you move, because that's not the real issue. I want you to understand you're there for a reason. But I would sort of just give you this little tip. I'm going to call it a tip. Don't be so quick to dismiss where people are because they don't understand your language. Because as teachers, we know that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And everyone may not be your student there. What if you went there and you're the student and they're your teachers, so that you can take what you already know and add it to that and go share it with the world at large? So don't count them out just yet. And don't count yourself out. I have been doing this work for just a little over 20 years, and I consider myself a baby on this path. I do not consider myself to be at a particular level. But I understand what you mean. You ask someone, do they know what manifests mean? They don't. Maybe they speak another language, because we know that everyone can manifest. And maybe you're there so that you can understand. What my guides have taught me, my spiritual teachers, is that the simplest explanation, the simplest action is how these things and transformation happens. Not these complex theories. I mean, you get to teach it any way you want, but don't be so quick to say this is a mistake. Maybe you're meeting these people and you're connecting with these people for a reason. Maybe they have something they can share with you that you don't understand about the quest that you're on. If you trust your heart and your guidance to bring you there, then give it a shot before you say, maybe this is a mistake, or maybe I'm not here to teach these basic level principles, because I'm going to tell you an honest truth. And I know you can hear this, and believe you me, you never have to agree with or what I'm saying. The fact that you made that statement really shows that there's something else there that Spirit has brought you there for. And so don't be so quick to say what someone doesn't know. Maybe they don't know what you know, but they may know something else that you need. And so we know it's about give and take. And I would say just get a little bit more curious, because you haven't met everyone in the town. So you don't know. There could be people who do know more. And sometimes people are not so open about what they share in particular areas. And maybe they wanted to see, what is your definition? Sometimes people play dumb to things. I know you have certainly said you didn't know things that you do know, just to see. You did that tonight with me to see what I get. So they could be doing the same thing to you. Let's see. You really the teacher? You really know what you say? Oh, let's see. So I don't think you made a mistake. I think that this is going to be something on your journey that you will look back at and be grateful that you trusted yourself and followed your heart. And you will know if it's time for you to move on, but it certainly won't be because you feel some teaching is beneath you, because you can teach to people all over the world from anywhere in the world. As long as you have access to the internet, as long as you have a cell phone, you can do that. Nothing is holding you back. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do feel like I'm here for a reason. I see how I am. Well, and I really feel that I want to get involved with the community rather than do all this stuff online like I used to.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's to be continued, because when you do this work and you want to make money doing the spiritual work, of course you're thinking, well, how am I presenting the material to attract people, again, locally? And then that goes into the questioning of, well, what's going on? Am I going to be able to teach my classes here? And again, I'm just talking about locally. I know that I
Yeah.
teach stuff on.
No. But I would say don't get too caught in your mind, because your mind is not going to be able to figure this out. It's not a job for the mind. It's definitely not a job for the mind. I don't know if I got clicked off here. Can you all still hear me? Oh, you guys can still hear me? I don't know if I can still hear her, though. Let's see. Is she still here? Her call dropped. Is this her 4157? Her call her call dropped. Well, I will say this in closing, give yourself a chance. And if you want to be a part of the community and you want to be a part of the community, then be a part. First, seek to understand before you seek to be understood. And so, coming into a community just to get what you want, people have a lot of resistance to that. Energy is resistance. But maybe come in and find out what the community is about, and then start to assess how you can best assist and help with your skills, your gifts, the community, rather than how the community can now feed you and your gifts and what you have going on. So we are wishing you all of the best, and thanks so much for calling in. Peace and love. Yeah, so beautiful. Let's go to the next caller calling in from area code 7274. 7274?
Hello,
Hello, greetings. Who's on the line?
Jeff.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Who's on the line?
Jeff,
Jeff is on the line. Greetings, Jeff. Where are you calling from?
Clearwater, Florida.
Okay, greetings, Jeff from Clearwater, Florida. Is this your first time calling in?
My second time was my first time getting you.
Okay. I love it when y'all tell me that. No, I called in before. I didn't talk to you, but I did call in before. I love that. And so, how can I help?
um, I think well, it's a lot with me, but basically, I think I'm just curious, because I don't really connect with my spirit team or my higher self like I should, because my spiritual hygiene is sucks. Like I don't meditate every day, so the connection that I need to get the answers I need right now is basically unclear. So what I'm really trying to figure out what's my next step, career or business wise, because spirit gives me all these ideas that I get inspired on, and then it just fall flat. The inspiration fall flat and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just trying to figure out what's next. What's the next step for my mission, for my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have all these ideas. Like I literally have like 4 different businesses I can start right now from in my house that, but I just don't know. These are things, some of them are things that I was just inspired, but my true heart purpose is to help people, to, you know, like teacher wise, being on stage, doing these things. I see myself doing that, but, it's just a lot of fears that hold me back in all those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm basically just trying to, okay, which way do I need to go? My next step. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had I have a food business that, I started. That's a passion of mine. And I involved spirituality into it. You know what I'm saying? But so that's one option. Then it's like, but my true, like, I really want to step in, like, the teaching. Like, but I still, I'm lacking a lot of information in that area. But I just feel like, because like my whole life I have women that come to me for guidance, relationship guidance. Like that's always been
Mm-hmm.
before I was ever even spiritual. But once I had my spiritual awakening, I realized that okay, that's part of my purpose. People come to me for relationship advice. So that's one
Yeah.
thing that I love. That's I love to do it. I can do it for free every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a passion of mine. It's like okay, so I don't know which area to step into.
So let me ask you, and thank you for that, Jeff. And by the way, I think that's beautiful. I wrote a couple of words down once I clicked on your name, and one is visionary,
Yes.
confident, charming, um, courageous, energetic, strong willed, too many irons in the fire, demanding, pessimistic, temperamental, and not easily moved. Yeah. Yeah. Would you say that kind of sums up a part of you?
Um. Quite a few of them, yes, and some of them I'm working on,
Mm-hmm.
like currently.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
but you hit a lot of them on the head, but like a lot of them I'm working on.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
to
none of
overcome
them
those.
none of them are bad or negative. They're
Mm-hmm.
just some things that are sticking out. So let's talk about this because I want to kind of go back a little bit. You said you have a hard time listening to your higher self because you can't meditate. But then you said spirit is constantly giving you ideas, which means you are connected to your higher self. So, meditation isn't the only way to connect to your higher self. It is a way. And then understand this, we meditate all the time. When we're taking a shower, we're in a meditative state. Believe it or not, when you're cooking, you're in a meditative state. When you're driving, you could be in a very meditative state, or even a channel or trance state. So, I don't want you to think that you're not connecting with your guides because you are not meditating, because there are different types of meditation that we have. Now, it is good to quiet the mind because you do get a lot, but you kind of answered your own question. And you said women come to you and they always come to you for relationship advice, and you give it to them and it's been helpful. And you know that this is something you can do. It doesn't matter if they pay you, if they don't. It's something that just flows with you and you get excited. Out of all the things that you sort of hinted to, talked about, when you started talking about the women coming to you, your energy immediately went up. So that lets me know energetically that's what you want to do. So my question to you is, why not do it? Why not start doing it? Why not start speaking about it? Why not start having little get-togethers where you can be offering insight advice to women? Why not do that? Here's the other thing. You have to constantly, well, you don't have to, but it would be in good alignment for you to continuously to do your work as well too on yourself. And I know you spoke about that and said that you are doing your work on yourself. So I would encourage you to continue to do work on yourself, but take a chance on yourself. If this is what you love doing, you've seen yourself on stages, you've seen yourself presenting this work, go for it. What is really stopping you? And that's the question I want you to ask yourself. What is really stopping you from doing that?
Mm. I, I believe I have quite a few fears still to move past, and I
It's
think I know I
okay.
need to just,
Listen,
because I think
listen. We
fear of
know
not having the right
we know fear is not real. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real. Fear is not real. And it's okay to be scared and do things, because I don't think you really have a fear. I think you're scared. And what you're scared of is failure. And
Well,
being
that exactly.
and being
Exactly.
afraid, it's okay. Being afraid to fail, it's okay to be afraid to fail, but what is not okay is to not follow what you truly feel your spirit is calling you to do. That's what's not okay. I promise you, I have failed at more things than I've been successful. But what I can say is I did it. Because, see, if you don't do it, we already know the outcome. You don't have to be afraid of failure. You already failed whenever you don't take a step to do it. So let this be your sign that that's what you need to do. I want you to sit down, put on a nice playlist, because your guides tell me you are badass when it comes to music.
Right.
Put a nice playlist on. Get you out a pen and a piece of paper. Maybe have you your favorite tea or, drink handy with you. Light a candle. Get yourself all ready. And I want you to sit down and I want you to channel your name, channel another name. Because even though Jeff holds you together and grounds you energetically, there is a spiritual name that will uplift you so that you can move past some of the fears that Jeff is holding on to. And so I want you to think of it this way. I'm blue, but I am the oracle. And so when I am in the oracle uplifts me and helps me move past some of the things that is holding Miss Blue back, maybe some of the fears that Blue is being held back from, some of the insecurities that maybe Blue is being held back from. And this is allowing an open space for me. That wasn't a good example, but you understand the point of what I'm saying. So I
If I
want
kind
you.
of,
Hmm?
oh no, I said, well, I did kind of give myself another name, but I'm not confident in it yet, so I don't even,
Well,
you
what's
know,
the name? Let us hear the name. What is the name?
it's infinite being. I call myself infinite. I don't know where that came from, but
Okay,
you know, it's
listen,
just like
listen, listen.
but
What you are going to do, Mister? I can give advice to women. You gonna stop contradicting everything you say out of your mouth, especially when you're talking to me. Okay, we're not gonna say something and
yeah,
then backtrack on it. We're not doing that. Stand on it. Infinite being. If you want to call yourself infinite being and that feels right to you, call yourself that. And guess what? If you wake up tomorrow and something else comes up, change it because it's your life. But I will tell you this, you better start living it while you can. Because, see, if somebody were to come and try to take that away from you, then you'd feel some kind of way. If some brother comes up here after you call in and say, hey, Miss Blue, I'm infinite being. I help women. I do mentorship. I would love to come on here and talk. Then you're going to be at home trying to feel some kind of way.
you're right.
You're going to be feeling some kind of way. Trust me, you need to move on this. This eclipse that's coming up, it's a lunar eclipse. It's going to be a full moon. It's in the sign of Libra. This is all about freedom. And when we talk about freedom, we're talking about a free dome, a free mind, a free higher mind. If you're going to be an infinite being, I want you to sit down and think about what that means. Please don't ever let somebody hear you say, I don't know where that came from. I don't know what that means. I don't have no connection to it, but I'm going to call myself that. That's a lie. Don't do it. Figure out what it is to you. I don't care what that is, but it needs to be something to you. No one goes around and calls themselves something that they have no connection to. So
You're right. I never thought about
that's
it.
right. Stop dumbing yourself down. This goes back to your childhood, really when you were around 12 or 13 years old, when the situation happened between your mother and the family. But stop dumbing yourself down. Speak with your confidence about what you know, no matter who you're in front of, no matter how much they know or what they don't know, because there's only one person on this planet that knows Jeff, infinite being, better than you, and that is you. No one should know you better than you. Now, there's other people, such as myself, that can help you understand yourself from a different angle better. But you know what truth is for you, and you have to stand on that. So make sure, if you've ever played The Sims, get in the mirror and start talking to yourself. If you want to speak in front of people, start talking to yourself. That's the first person you got to become comfortable speaking in front of. Damn everybody else.
Right.
Are you comfortable speaking to you? Practice talking in the mirror, looking at yourself, recording yourself. Come back and listen to this recording. So
Right.
you
Right.
are
You're
on
right. 'Cause
you're
I
on
even
the right
struggle.
path. And here's the other
Right.
thing. We are multidimensional beings. So why can't you work on one or two of the things you want to work on at one time, if that's what you're being called to do? But anytime you say, I don't know where to start, I got this, I got this, I got this, that's fear. That is trying to distract you. And remember, it's okay to fail. Some of the greatest success has come after a failure. But if you never try, if you absolutely never bet on yourself, then you already know what the answer is. That dream, that vision you had, it'll never come true because you never took steps to make it happen. So
Right.
take the steps to make it happen. Take the steps to make it happen. You're right there. Women love to hear you. Call all them women that love to hear you and say, hey, Tuesday night, my place. I want to share something with you. Bring a friend, bring two, bring three, and make sure you're responsible when you're doing this because you know that's a deadly trap for a lot of brothers and sisters.
Yes.
To
Trust
whom
me, I
much is
know.
given, much is required.
Right? Because I understand that a man has to be disciplined in that lower nature before they even try to step in that area.
Well,
Because
people have to be disciplined. And I'm going to tell you right now,
well,
they are not. So don't
right.
worry about what everybody else got to be. Make sure you know that infinite being Jeff is disciplined because that's going to
So
ensure that you continue on your path and your journey. You understand? And I know that
I do.
a big part of this is what you wanted to give to your mother, but you couldn't. I'm not going to do a whole read on you because I know you don't want to go into that. But this is the reason why you have this love of helping women, especially when it comes to relationships.
Mm. Yeah, you wow.
See?
That is crazy.
Yeah. And that's exactly what the women, why they love you so much, because you have a insight, you have a understanding that is much, much deeper than just men and women coming together. So go out there,
Mhm.
do some beautiful work, put some things together and start moving on it. You have everything you need. I promise you. I'm not going to bullshit you. That's one thing Ms.Blue won't do. I'm not going to bullshit you.
I believe you. I appreciate you.
You're so welcome. So peace and love. All right, hold the line.
All right.
What a beautiful call. We need more brothers in the work. We need more sisters in the work. We need more people in the work. And I think that's beautiful that Jeff has a desire, infinite being, to really assist in relationships from a very loving, honest, and a very caring way. Yeah, that's powerful. Let's go to the next caller calling in from area code 2672. 2672. You're live on Planet Remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Hi, Ms.Blue.
Hello, greetings. Who's on the line?
Hi, Ms.Blue. It's Cherie calling in from Philadelphia.
Okay, greetings to you, Cherie from Philadelphia. Is this your first time calling in?
No, it's not my first time calling in.
Okay,
We've
well,
spoken before.
okay. I trust it was helpful for you.
Yes, it really was.
Okay, and how can I help?
I appreciate you for this.
You're so welcome.
My question is, I've been going through the motions up and down all around, feeling some anxiety and stress about a legal situation um, involving my significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm just praying and looking for it, manifesting for the situation to have a favorable outcome and
For both
everything
of you or just for you?
for both of us.
Okay.
And everything just doesn't go any further than what it has gone.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, can you give me anything about that situation?
So this goes without saying, but the number one thing that has to happen is you definitely need to be more ready to accept this change because things have changed tremendously. They've changed. And there is a need of forgiveness that is there. And that forgiveness definitely, before you're willing to give it to anyone else, give it to yourself.
Okay.
First and foremost, right? And then to let go and be ready to move on, to move on. Couple of things that have come up right before you were there: anxiety, fear, insomnia, worry, loss, love, trauma, psychological trauma, hurtfulness, out of control, bullying, impulsiveness, insincere, hurtful, and a lot of missed opportunities. So, the best thing to do for you, and I know you may not want this, the best thing to do, I know in a perfect world, he will say he's sorry. They will say they're sorry. You guys can make up and everybody can leave and go away peacefully. But you do know this is not the case. Are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really up to you how this goes and how far you want this to go.
Okay.
And then it's also up to you about learning how to stand up for yourself and to not worry about what other people think. Because a big part of your worry is what other people think about this situation, when the first and foremost is your safety. And that's what I want you to focus on. Focus on you. Focus on you and what you need to do for you. If there is somewhere, someplace, somebody that you can go stay with, you can be at. I feel like we had this conversation before, but in your energy, it's things are all over the place. But I don't want you to wait because of some technicality that you don't do what you need to do to protect yourself. Because that's what you need to do at this particular time. I just see someone around you that is very angry about this situation, even though they're the ones who initiated and caused this situation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this situation is not going to be resolved anytime soon. I mean, anything is possible. But at this time, put yourself first. Take every necessary action. Call in every favor from every family member, every close friend that has said, girl, you could come here anytime. Girl, you could do this. You know, we got you. Call those favors in. Allow yourself to be open to receive the support and help you need, because this is unhealthy. It's unhealthy. And I know there's a part of you that wants to believe that this person is changed and maybe you need to recant or not say things, because I see you with a piece of paper and you're trying to pull it back. Does that make sense?
It does.
Don't pull it back. I mean, you're always free to do whatever you want, but don't pull it back without checking your heart to make sure that you understand before you try to protect something that did not protect you, that you put yourself first. Put yourself first. For once, put yourself first. Worry about you. Worry about your well-being, your mental, your physical. You know, I'm just going to say it. Get out of that. Run. You know how they say run for the hills? Run as fast as you can. Get away, stay away, get away. This might have been the push you need to move into a whole new life for yourself. Get away. Get away.
Okay.
Trust your heart. Don't allow someone, because I see someone twisting their words and they are not sincere. It is to get what they want. So you make sure that you are checking your heart and you are doing what you need to do to keep yourself safe, to keep yourself healthy, and I mean mentally, physically, and spiritually. And do not recant, go back, cross out anything that you know is true for you and that happened. That is not your responsibility to cover down on someone who means to cause you harm.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So let me give you some sparkles. That was a big one, but you can do this. You can do this. Your guides are with you and all kinds of things. Your guides are with you. And, you know, I don't even know why I'm questioning this, but I am going to tell you this. That beautiful, loving, supportive companionship, new partnership, those things that you've always dreamt of can never get to you if you stay in these unhealthy relationships. Whether those are friendships, whether those are intimate partners, you've got to clean up your relationships, starting with the one you have with yourself, or you will never have that beautiful relationship that you know you desire and that you deserve to have.
Makes sense.
All right. So there you go.
Makes sense.
All right. Peace and love. Hold the line.
Peace of love. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Sparkles. Let's go to the next caller calling in from area code. Where was I? 7634. Area code 7634. You're live on Planet Remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from. How we doing, Blue Room?
Yes, this is Abdul Grundy from Minnesota. I've called you several times before this year.
I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I couldn't hear you. Can you speak up just a little bit? Who's on the line?
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me?
It's coming in a little fuzzy. It may be on my end. I'm sorry. Who's on the line?
My name is Abdul Grundy. I'm calling in from Minnesota, from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay, Abdul. Yeah, okay. Yes, Abdul. Yes. Is it Abdullah?
Yes.
Okay. How are
Abdul.
you? How are you, Abdul?
I'm fine. I gotta say you're very key in my growth, and you have been since 2009 or 10.
Thank you.
And I'm so appreciative of you. And I've always been. I never had a chance to tell you that.
Oh, thank you.
I just really feel that I really have been needing not I think we all need you, and I'm so glad you're here. And because sometimes finding a medium is great, but finding the right medium that's compatible with you is important. And I feel like it's compatible with me and so many others. And I feel so blessed, and I feel spoiled, and I feel spoiled that I know who you are, as opposed to so many folks in the
Wow.
world who don't. And I think many of us who have you are so spoiled and so high up on the hog that to know who Miss Blue is as a medium and have you be the medium directly for us. And I just can't say enough thank you. I just want to give you 1,000 thanks
Oh,
and a
thank
million thanks
you.
for you existing and standing in what you are. Um, but without wasting any more time,
Mm.
um, you helped me connect. You helped me get back on. Well, actually, it's funny. I was trying to ground all my life and couldn't ground until you told me that I needed to ground. That's when I was able to ground. I got with Dr. Wayne Chandler, and he reminded me of a technique he taught me that I forgot about grounding, and I've
Beautiful.
been able to ground. I've been able to ground since that day, and I've been grounding every day. And I'm in my body now, and I'm in my body every day. But
Hmm.
there's got to be some next step from grounding, because I don't feel like grounding is it's giving me my foundation, but it's not
Yes.
giving me everything
Yes.
to fully conquer myself and be self-mastered. And I'm trying to transition from my grounding practice every day into something else, because I still feel like I have a lot of negative mentalities, or not negative, but like not negative, but the mentalities I had before.
Hmm.
I just can quiet my mind better and be more productive because I'm more grounded. I'm more productive because I'm more grounded.
Yes.
But I'm not I'm not Abdul yet. I'm not that master I'm
Mm.
supposed to be. I'm not that excellent sharp guy I'm supposed to be. I'm still building. I'm still stepping. I'm trying to get there. What's the next move?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me say, I don't know if I can agree with you. I think you are doing amazing. But first of all, I just want to say thank you from my heart. That really touched my heart, Abdul. And I'm so glad that you were able to take the information and connect with Brother Wayne Chandler, Dr. Brother Wayne Chandler. He is absolutely amazing and use those techniques. So here's the next step, because I know, like you said, you're grounded. That helps you to stay focused, but you still feel like, okay, so now that I've got the grounding, what is next for me? And this is actually a beautiful place to be in this space where you can feel I'm grounded. And yes, I would agree with you. Your energy is so much, much, much more grounded than it has been. And that's a beautiful thing. I want you to know two things, and I'm sure you probably know this. Grounding is something that we must constantly do, especially when we're consciously aware spiritual beings on the planet. In fact, I always tell everyone the more that we dive into the work of elevating our consciousness, the more we must work on our grounding practice, because this is the ultimate balance between the two. Now, as far as your next step, that next step is going to be, where do you want to channel this energy into? Where are you channeling this energy? Is there some
Mm,
sort of craft, or maybe you want to write a book, or maybe you want to
mm,
build
mm.
something, or maybe you want to share something? Where are you channeling? Because this is what's being asked of you is, okay, now that you've grounded and you have this energy coming through, you have to now start taking action, which is a step that a
Oh,
lot of people miss. So I'm so glad you brought that up. So, what is it that you enjoy doing? You absolutely love doing? It sort of lights you up.
well, uh, the word speaker comes up when I do divination. The word speaker comes up even before I could make the connection of why it was coming up years ago. The word speaker was coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's supposed to be something that deals with kids and speaking and being with kids, and
Mm.
also not just kids, but also a class
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
esoteric information too,
Mm.
to grown ups. And I don't
Yeah.
consider myself a teacher level yet, But I do think I know
Well,
what it is. And I
hold
was
on,
also
hold
gift
on,
works.
hold on, hold on. I want to slow you down a little bit. You're telling me great, beautiful stuff. What I want you all to promise me when you come on here, you don't contradict yourself because you was just in a natural flow. Just let it go because you are a teacher. We are all teachers and students. So you're a teacher. So keep going. I'm listening. So teaching children and also classes for adults.
Adults of esoteric, yes, of esoteric information, and I think I know for a fact my visions have told me I'm supposed to it's going to say okay. My visions have told me I'm going to be teaching, and I'm going to be able to I think what I read is going to help influence my teaching because I've been reading for years because I've been studying the consciousness.
I'm going to give you something if you're open to hear this. Are you
okay?
you open to hear this? I want you to
I'm open
stop.
for anything that's
I
going to help me
want
do
you
that.
Thank you. I want you to stop reading and I want you to start channeling the information you have coming in, just like you did with me. Now, you can do it one or two ways. You can either, I would love for you to write it down or type it out, right? You can ask your higher self or your guides, or you can record yourself in it. Set the intention for your channel and channel it. Because right now, when you started speaking about the children and the classes and you were channeling. So you're having a lot of channeled information that's being downloaded to you. What I want you to do is to start documenting it. And even more than you documenting it, I want you to document with an intention. The intention for you to get the specifics, because I want to know exactly what kind of esoteric teaching for the children. But it's not something you have to say. It's a feeling. And I know the way you channel because I channel in some similar ways. I'm not asking questions because when we get to ask questions, who, what, where, why, when, those are all the mind intervening. You don't want the mind there. I want you to just sit down with a piece of paper with the intention to channel what class is your first class to share with kids, adults, whoever. And then you're going to leave that behind. And whatever comes up, even if it says chocolate ice cream, I want you to write it down or say it. Don't judge it. Because what's going to happen is as you're channeling this information, it's going to come in fragmented. And see, you're a natural channeler. This is why you also talk and it seems like you're stuttering. But what's happening is the information from your mind is attempting to interrupt the conscious flow that's coming in. And so where the practice of meditation can help you is if you meditate and ground before, then you will be able to allow that flow to come in from your higher self without the interruption of your mind. And so if it's easier
See,
to
that's what I've been.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. That's what I've been doing is meditating with this Zen information. Zen actually talks about quieting the mind, and I've
Listen,
been doing it.
but
But it's like
listen to what Ms.Blue is sharing with you. I think it's beautiful the way you're
okay,
doing it, but I want to share a way with you where you're going to get results. I don't want you to read a book. I don't want you to channel off of someone else's information. You have the ability to channel new information that is needed. Now, a lot of the foundation is going to come from books that you've read and, people you've been connected to, myself included, and others. But I want you to allow that natural flow of that information to come in with you, not from a book, because that's not channeling. Not from someone else, that's not channeling. I want you to just sit with yourself and see what comes up and begin to allow that information, that conscious flow, because it's a conscious flow of energy that is available to all of us on the planet, that we can tap into an infinite conscious flow of higher consciousness to allow that information to come in.
Okay, well, I'll just sit with my pad and just with the intent, yeah, cause
Yeah.
yeah, just ground
And
before.
get very excited. No expectations, no nothing. Do it like a fun experiment. Just get curious and say, I just want to see what comes through today. Just want to see what's going to come through today. No expectations, no none of that. Something fun, something of my higher self. Just allow yourself to be in that practice. And the more that you do that, then you're going to know when that intention kicks in. And when that intention kicks in, you're going to be able to have that information come through. And that's it. That's it. And you'll start seeing your next step. You already know your next step. You want to be sharing the information, and you want to share it with children, adults, or, people who feel it's a right fit for what you're sharing. You're sharing esoteric
Yeah.
information, all of that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I should be. That's what I should be doing. Also,
It's okay if you have to get
getting.
ready to go. I don't, we know
No,
you're
no, no, no,
busy.
no, 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 no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Also, channeling and stuff like that. But the reason I was talking so fast about the channel is because I was waiting for this past life revelation to come through a dream, and that's one of the things I've been getting in my divinations too. It's like a dream is supposed to happen where I get previous life information, and when I wake up, I know it, and I
Yeah.
can use that.
Yes, you can. And guess what? The realms to the Akashic record are open. So a
Okay,
lot of people have been dreaming and getting visions of their past lives that have been coming in. In fact, in self-invested, in the class, they're going to be going into their Akashic records and pulling out their files and taking a look and going in. So this is the time for that energy to be open.
do you have any readings for past records
I do,
that I
but
can pay
yeah,
for?
but I have a waiting list, but I will say this, on my digital site, I do have the Akashic files that I actually take you in. You can download it. You can purchase it and download it. And when you go in there, I literally take you step by step, show you how to get into your Akashic records, how to get into, your past life, and how to write in your records for the future. Past lives are important, but I will tell you this, the reason past lives are coming up now is because the records are going to shift themselves here. When we get to the equinox, the records are going to shift themselves and they're going to be closed. And so a lot of our past life karma, all of these things, these are things why a lot of us, you may be angry, you may be upset. Past situations that irritated you from the past may be resurfacing at this particular time, because we are being granted the opportunity as souls on the planet to close out all of this past life karma and either heal from it and learn from it, get the wisdom from it, and move on, or we will continue in this new cycle with that past life karma.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm
you're
not gonna hold you no more.
you're feeling it. You're not holding me, but I thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for being a part of Planet Remix. Do those channels, do it without any information, and just let a clear channel come in and get that information for yourself and start moving forward. All right? All right.
Bless you.
Bless you too. Peace and love, Abdullah. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
What a beautiful call. Yep, but the records are open. It is a beautiful time. If you're having these frustrating situations, all kinds of things, when it deals with health, when it deals with wealth, when it deals with relationships, A lot of these situations are coming. Of course, you know, the solar eclipse, it's going to be happening in Libra. Libra is all about all of those things. It's about beauty. It's about freedom. It's about listening to our heart. It's about how present can you get? How present in the moment can you get? It's about justice. It's about holding sacred space within ourselves and others. It's about exploring. Can we explore? Can we expand? It's about connection. And all of these things, this is really the theme of this solar eclipse that's coming up for all of us. And a part of it has to do with a lot of past life themes. So if there are some things that are happening in your life today that has been coming up last week, this week, right now, and it's irritating you, it's frustrating you, it's making you feel some kind of way, it's because your higher self, God, the universe, however you choose to call it, is attempting to finally get your attention so that you can really begin to close the chapter, get some understanding of this situation, heal this situation from yourself, and begin to move on, bring the wisdom and move on. Because if you don't, it's going to come with you. And here's the thing. By the time we get to April the 8th, you're going to have a whole new set of agenda of things to work on. And you want to make sure that you have cleared these things out so that you don't continuously carry them with you and add them on as you continue to go forward. So pay attention. Pay attention to that thing that gets on your nerves. Pay attention to what triggers you, because these are signs, these are sacred signs that you're being given, and a sacred opportunity for you to take a look, for you to respond different, for you to do something different. It is like your heart, your higher self is saying, please, please, can you finally do something different, something you would not normally do in this situation? Can you not be reactive? Can you be present? Can you see things from the other person's side of you? Can you, for once, make sure that you are not just responding out of pain, out of anger, out of fear, out of all of these different situations? Can you really, really begin to start getting into your higher self? So this is our opportunity. And that's one of the gifts of growing up on planet Earth. Because of these different cycles and because of these different frequencies, we have so many different opportunities to learn and to grow and to evolve and move ourselves forward with ourselves. And Libra is bringing in this gorgeous, beautiful gift of freedom, a freedom. That freedom, remember, that's the free dome, the free mind, so that we can allow ourselves to move forward with our heart. It's about romance. It's about romance. Can you romanticize your life? Can you see your life as beautiful and everyone and everything in it as a beautiful story unfolding in front of you? And those things that are no longer serving you, that you know at its core, it's not healthy, it's not good, it doesn't make you feel good, it is not connected to you in a way that you know shouldn't be connected for you. Can you finally let that go? Can you let it go and move on to something greater, to something more deeper, something more spiritual, something more evolved? Even if that is just your personal response to yourself. So if we're walking around hating our lives and hating things in our lives or hating ourselves, whether that's from a physical, mental, or spiritual, or beating ourselves up, you want to stop this. You want to start by romanticizing your life, falling deeply, madly in love with you, with all of you, and recognizing that if there is something, whether it's inside of you or in your environment or your connections in your life that is not healthy. And when I talk about healthy, I'm not just talking about your physical health, but physical health is there, but not healthy for you. If your money is not healthy, if your food is not healthy, if your life is not healthy, if the work you're doing is not healthy, if your thoughts are not healthy, if your shoes are not healthy, if your friends are not healthy, if that's not a healthy relationship, that you make the changes that need to be made. It's never about things outside of you. It is about everything that is inside of you. That is inside of you. That you thank it, you bless it, and wish it well as you continue to go on and to move. If you're doing something and it doesn't have health in it, it's not growing, it's not evolving, it's not transforming, it's not bringing you joy, that you find something else to do. A lot that's coming up and will continue to come up is about past life karma. So you might have been felt like you're drawn to your past life at this time, and this is why, because that's coming up. Get the lesson, understand the message, and move on. Move on. Move on in a beautiful way. Yeah. All right. We're going to go to the next caller. Calling in from area code 6178. 6178, you're live on Planet Remix. Please tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is C. Diggs in the Blue Room, calling from Massachusetts.
Okay. Hey, C. Diggs. How are you?
All right, how are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you.
I'm calling. I'm hoping you can do a body scan. I'm just starting my 40-day fast, and I just want to do it different than what I've done before. Like, cut down on the sugar and so forth. I would like you to do a body scan.
I certainly will. What kind of fast are you doing?
This is a 40-day. It's a liquid fast. No solids. This is for Passover.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. And do you have a reason for doing the fast?
Oh yeah, it's spiritual. It's with a group of people, so we're in touch with each other, talking about what are we gonna do and how are we gonna stay healthy and so forth.
Yeah, your energy looks good. I think the fast is amazing. I think it's beautiful that you're doing it, and you're doing it with people. I think while you're fasting to bring a lot of things out, what will serve you more is that you have got to work on your self-love.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you need.
I was thinking about that.
You have to work on your self-love. So here's a beautiful way to do it. And I've done this when I'm fasting. Anything that you take out of your diet or out of your thoughts, because fasting is not just about dietary things, in my personal opinion. Fasting is about our thoughts, right? It's also how we treat ourselves, our bodies, and things that we do as well. So everything that you take out, you put more self-love into you, because this is the component.
That's great.
Yeah. And that was a game changer for me. I'm telling you, C. Diggs, it was a game changer because you are consciously upping your self-love. And that is how you speak to yourself, how you talk about yourself, because self-love is a feeling. It's not an action. So even though doing things, as I always told you guys, it's wonderful. It's wonderful to take care of ourselves. That's great. But that is not what's going to determine that self-love. Self-love is, how do you talk to yourself when no one else is around, when it's just you? How do you speak to yourself?
That's true.
How do you nurture yourself?
I say to myself, the most important conversation is the conversation I have with myself, and I need to remind myself of that.
You need to do it. Yes, you need to do that. And you need to have loving conversations with yourself. I'm talking about truly intimate, loving conversations. Like, oh my goodness, you are incredible. You are so loving.
I'm the bomb diggity.
Yes, it seems funny in the beginning, but
It does, I know.
I promise you. And you need to say, you know what? That was amazing. You really handled and took care of those things you needed to take care of. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You are, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You are incredible. Yeah.
I'll have to get into that practice.
Yes.
I'm going to do it.
Yes. So I'm looking at your energy. I would love for your root chakra to be more expansive, a little more expansive, and your heart chakra. Like I said, the cure for both of those, and I know when you're doing this 40-day fast, maybe that can be sort of the reason, one of your reasons for doing the fast is that you want to have more of an intimate and a spiritual connection. Because I feel like that spiritual lineage in you, that gets opened up the more that we love ourselves. The more that we get into that love, we start to tap into that God particle inside of us, and it expands more. Your awareness does. So the more that you fall madly, deeply in love with you, the more you will see that transformation. Yeah. So congratulations, but try that out because it worked amazing for me whenever I'm fasting. I do it all the time, but I purposely, when I first started fasting, started anything that I took out, whether it was a thought, it was a response, a feeling, emotion, anything, a food, a habit. I just amped up the self-love. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Ms. Blue. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me give you some sparkles.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Peace and love, C. Diggs. And thanks for being a part of Planet Remix. Hold the line.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. How beautiful is that? That's going to be nice. Beautiful 40 juicy days. Let's go to 8436. 8436.
Hello?
Hello. Who's on the line, please? 8436. You're live on Planet Remix.
Hey, Ms.Blue, how you doing? It's Huey from South Carolina.
Okay, greetings to you, Huey from South Carolina. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great, actually. First of all, I just want to say...
Hello? Uh-oh. I think we lost you, Huey.
Really show love. Hello?
We can hear you now.
Hello?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we can hear you now.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My fault. I was just saying, thank you so much for just showing love, giving us the game you do, really guiding us, in this thing we call life, for real. And I want to say to everybody, man, what love is, fear can't be present. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got love, you can't be scared of nothing. Can't have no fear in your heart, because love there. But
how beautiful.
I ain't going to hold you too long. Yeah.
No. That was good.
Though.
We needed that. That was good.
Yeah. But I ain't going to hold you too long because I really had like 2 questions and a confirmation, but you already answered my first question. So now I just got a confirmation question.
Okay. Okay. That's what's up.
So, all right. So, all right. So the first thing is, it was like last month, I believe, and Biggie was coming up big, right? Like, no pun intended, but like I was channeling him, and I wrote down some of his lyrics on a sheet of paper and stapled them on the wall, right? Long story short, that same day, I go to Five and Below, and this man is sitting on the shelf. The only person, you know what I'm saying, the only figure on the shelf, you know what I'm saying, because I got a Tupac figure, but I got it from Myrtle Beach, and he was actually like $50 or something like that. But I saw him at Five Below, and it was like no more action figures. It wasn't like it was a bunch of Biggie action figures there. It was just him on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? So I got him and I took him home, but I just feel like he been trying to, you know what I'm saying, contact me or reach me in some type of way. And I just been, you know what I'm saying, I just been channeling everything that I've been feeling, I've been getting from him. You know what I mean?
And tell me, because that sounds exciting. Like, what what do you want? What do you want to know? I mean, tell me what the question is. What is the question?
Well, this ain't the question. It's just the confirmation right here. What I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's only because I've been feeling him so strong, and even
Yes.
like it was just a couple of probably like last week, I was like kind of in a low vibration, and he, you know what I'm saying, I just looked up because I heard his little voice in my head, and he was just telling me everything gonna be all right, man. Hold your head. You know what I'm saying? Stay focused, especially with
Yeah.
your music. You know what I'm saying? You're a great instrumentator, but you need to get back focused in your, you know what I'm saying, your lyrics and stuff like that. You know, because I've been just playing drums and guitar and all this, just focusing on my music, making my own beats and stuff like that lately. Just
Yes.
really getting back into myself, what I love to do. Because
Right.
I've been doing a whole lot, Ms.Blue, and I know you can feel it and I know you can see it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but yeah, but
But go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. We good, we good.
no, I mean that's what I had to say about that though. That's all
Yes.
I had to say about that.
You know what? I absolutely love it. Um, I want you to keep working with Biggie. And especially, see, here's the thing. I know, I want to say about a week and a half ago, I might have got 5 emails from people who had Prince show up in dreams,
Yeah. And see, yeah, that's another person too.
and
Yeah, I
visions,
be
and
channeling sometimes.
yeah, and usually they come through in clusters. Like I'll get emails of people. I
Yeah.
remember when I even did the channel on Biggie some years back. I did a show when Biggie came through in a channel. So when spirits are coming through, they're coming through to deliver messages, and especially with you being so close to music and and lyrics and rap and hip hop and all of this and his connection in there, and to get that confirmation, like that's huge. That's big.
Right.
Like you
Right.
want to know that that channel is open, and you want to continuously, keep that dialogue going back and forth, because they usually come through as mentors. So, asking the
Right. Right.
mentor, like, hey,
Exactly.
check this beat
And see,
out.
you know, for real, because I asked him. I'll go ahead. Go. I ain't
No,
gonna
no,
cut you
no.
off.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. I'm
No,
getting
no.
excited. My
We
fault.
want to hear you, Huey. Go ahead.
Hey, nah, for real, nah, because I just asked this man. I just asked him the other day. I cannot lie. I can't make this shit up. For real. I just asked him the other day, man, you coming in strong to me, heavier than Tupac. And I've been trying to channel this motherfucker for the longest.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because me and him got the same birthday. But
Yeah.
when he come in, I was like, bro, we family or we in the same bloodline? Like,
Hmm.
are you trying to guide me? Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Right.
I ain't mean to cut you off though,
No,
Miss
no,
Blue.
no, no. This is another confirmation for you. So you want to involve them. They want to be involved in the process. They will give you insight. They will give you suggestions. They will help you with things that maybe you're trying to figure out how to do. They are working spirit guides when they come through. It's kind of like the ascended masters. So, we have a whole, creative team of ascended masters. I know that the world have certain individuals they consider to be ascended masters, but I remember I went to this, it was an award show. And when I got to this award show and I was sitting down, I was trying to figure out like who's coming on stage. And it was, it was like Tupac, Biggie, I see you guys, Prince, Aaliyah, it was all of these great singers, artists, musicians that was coming through. And they said, we are ascended masters too. They are ascended masters.
Right,
They just have a
that's why
specialty.
I was just talking about that the other day too. Yeah,
X
we like
extension.
the
Yeah,
ultimate,
X extension is there. I always tease him about all them X on his
yeah,
forehead. Yeah. So,
yeah.
there are ascended masters and they really go, and we usually stay connected to our oversoul group. And so because you are so connected with music and hip hop, and if you have a love for it, you'll be connected. And then also, like I see somebody say, C. Freeman L. Like I didn't know C. Freeman L, but I
Hey,
know
I
him.
study him.
I
I study
know
him too.
him
Yes,
very,
yes, sir.
very well in the spirit world. I have never studied him, but I have seen his videos and I talk to him often in the spirit world. Often in the
Oh,
spirit world. For years, I've talked to him for often. Dr.
right.
Sabi for years, Dr. Layla Africa, all, these great teachers, they will show themselves and they will come through and connect with you in the astro realm.
Right, right. Okay,
Yeah.
that leads me that what I'm saying, that segues us right into my next my question, not the confirmation, my question. Because I've been doing a whole lot of work like that too, mediumship, speaking of spirits, trying to, because I know I'm a channeler too. I know
Yes.
that's my second nature, channeling. But I've
Mm-hmm.
been really trying to really see them, hear them, and all of that. My thing is, I
Why?
was just doing, and this was yesterday morning, or yesterday. I was doing my usual my little exercise, right? And I asked, I want to see one of my spirit guides. I want to see the face. I want to really get to know them and see what they look like, see what they smell like, feel like. You know what I'm saying? So I could really, really decipher them. And
Well,
when I was
ho-
doing that,
ho- tell me that one more time. I want to make sure I understand. I'm sorry.
yeah, okay. So let me go back. So this exercise I do, I've been doing it for probably about 2 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm really just trying to. Well, let me say this. What I was doing yesterday, I asked my spirit guides, like I wanted to see one of them, at least one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see them and get to know them, right? And I
Yes.
wanted to get to know them in a way that I can hear them, and if I know it's them, I can know the symbols they send in or the smell, any sense I can know that it's them. Like what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like I
Yes.
can, really
Mm-hmm.
pick apart of my spirit guides, like just like how we just talked about like Biggie and stuff, right?
Right.
But yesterday when I was doing my little exercise, right, a image came up of a person, but it was like it wasn't like it was light. I just saw the outline of the frame of the facial to the neck down, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like it was light, but it wasn't like the light that we would in a mundane see or call as light. It was like sort of a neon
Mm-hmm.
like I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
can't really
Oh, I
explain it, but
understand what you're talking
um
about. Yeah.
okay, yeah. But it like, and I was really trying to own into it and really, what I'm saying, really see it without straining because it started to go away after a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And my question was, how can I retain that? Like, how can I retain that when
Mm-hmm.
they are revealing that to me and I'm seeing that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's going away. It's like I looked it up the other day, yesterday too. It was called photo. I think it's called photo or photosynthesis. I can't say the damn thing,
Photosynthesis.
but
Yeah.
no, no, not photo. No, it's not photosynthesis. It's photo. It's faux sense. It's not photo. It's faux sense. It's I don't know.
I
I'll
know what you're
email you the
talking
word
about.
later, but
I know what you're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay, yeah, okay.
so here's a couple of things, and I love the path that you're on. I want you to remember this. Spirit guides are not humans. Just
Right, I
remember
know
that.
that. Yeah, I know that.
Just
I know.
just
Yeah, they come in all shapes,
hold,
forms. They
hold,
even.
hold
I
on.
know that. You
Hold,
know.
hold on. Let me let
Okay,
me
okay.
let me
I'm
finish
sorry.
the
I don't mean to
thought.
cut you off.
I'm not saying you don't know,
Yes,
but
ma'am. Yes,
just let
ma'am.
me finish.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
reason I'm telling you that is because in order for you to know your spirit guides are with you, they're sending you signs. Maybe it's through the five senses, or, you know, you're getting the visions and all of these things. Typically, and I will tell you this, they are not going to appear in a body. Now, what you did see
Right, right,
was sort of that frequency of them saying, okay, you want to see something physical because humans,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Mhm.
the only thing I'm telling you, Huey, is you want to get out of trying to make this a physical proof because the whole point is for it to be a higher elevation proof, not physical.
Mhm.
You get it?
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yes,
even
ma'am.
though the manifestation of what they're doing comes through in the physical, this is not a physical experience. This is something that's coming through from our higher self and extra sensory perception, our multi sensory perception that they're coming through. It's not so much physical. And spirit
Yeah,
guides
yeah.
don't care.
I see exactly.
They
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
care what you call them. They don't care. They're not locked into the constraints of humanity. They're not locked into these
Mhm.
constraints. They're not locked into a body. They're not locked into a name. They're not locked into their emotions. They're not. These are things that we need here on this earth plane. So, if we're going to look at it from sort of a higher esoteric understanding, from a spiritual aspect or a metaphysical point of view, or even the occult point of view, then you achieve what you were seeking. Number one, you wanted them to show you proof. They did. That light that you seen was really on the spectrum because a lot of times it will, at least for me, it comes in like a neon ish color. Matter of fact, y'all will notice that I use that neon color in a lot of my activation art that I do because this is how I see into the multisensory world or into the quantum world. It comes through in these frequencies that at one time science thought that only bees and certain species on the planet could see these higher frequencies. But we have become super beings, a lot of us on the planet,
Yes.
and we can tap into these higher frequencies and see this energy that is coming through. So that's what you did. So that is your proof. When you said, hey, I want to see, I want to smell, I want to know, I want to this, they said, okay, well, we're going to give you a little something so you can have something in the physical world to sort of hold on to. But I don't want you to
Hold
be
on to. Yeah.
so
Mhm.
invested in that because the
Right,
way
right.
to knowing it for sure, because what you want to do, and I understand what you're saying, and I also understand your intent. You can correct me if you're wrong. You want to know it. And the way that you're going to know it is you have to open your heart and you have to get out of your mind because those questions that you're
Mhm.
asking, they're all questions of the mind. It is not questions of spirit. Anytime you want to know the how, the
Right,
what, the where, the when, the who, and all of that,
right,
that is the mind. That is
right.
not the higher self answering those questions.
And right,
Mm-hmm.
you right though, Miss Blue, because exactly when I said that, I even knew it was like it was out of my conscious But when I saw the image and stuff, I got it. It's like this thing it's like a little. I feel like I'm spinning a little bit, like I'm spinning and the room spinning. Like you ever
Yes.
got that feeling when yeah. So I knew when I saw that image and that started happening, that was what it was. But I knew, like how you said, when I was asking, I was
Yeah,
asking
because
straight totally out of
what's
my,
going to
my mind, my
happen,
consciousness. Yeah.
remember the mind is all. And what you
Yes,
don't want
ma'am.
to do is having something come up that your mind created for you. You don't want to have to question,
Right,
because
right.
that's what you're questioning now. You're trying to separate. I want to know if this is you or if this is my mind. You get it? So
Yeah.
the way that
Yeah.
you're going to know
Exactly.
for
Yep.
sure is you have to open your heart, expand your
Yes,
consciousness.
ma'am.
The way that these gifts start to come online, people ask me, that's one of my most asked questions, how can I tap into my higher self more? How can I, open up my clairvoyance, my clairaudience? How can I get into these channeled states? How can I stay in these states? You have to constantly work on your consciousness. The more that you expand your consciousness and your awareness, and this is not a job for the mind. See, this is ultimately what we came to Earth to remember. We came here to learn. There are things that the mind must do, but we came here to remember that there is more to us than the mind. Than the mind.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are on the right path. You are definitely channeling this information and you're getting your confirmation. Here's what I would love for you to do. Once you get that
Yes, ma'am.
first confirmation, no more questions.
After that, yeah.
You get it?
Don't
We
second
we
guess
will
yourself.
we will take ourselves down this rabbit hole for years. Okay, I know
Yeah,
that
for
was
real.
real, but let me do it again. Let me see if it happened again. Okay, now I need some more proof. It's like we are constantly on this
Yeah.
quest for more proof when we already have the proof. So now what I need you to do
Yeah.
is I need you to trust yourself. Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Trust yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
And
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 that's
and
the
I know what
thing.
you're
And that's the
saying.
thing right there.
What if I'm wrong? So what? You'll get over it. It's not about being right or wrong.
Right.
I teach this. Stay
Yes,
out of right and
yes,
wrong.
ma'am.
You're not, if you're doing this to prove you right, to prove someone else wrong, you've already jacked yourself up. Stay out of right or wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Trust
Yes,
yourself
ma'am.
and take action. Trust yourself and take action.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you're wrong, guess what you've just done? You will never be wrong about it again because you know
Right.
the feeling and you're like, oh, that's coming from my mind.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
will know. You understand? So trust yourself. And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
here's the next question that I always challenge everyone with. So now what are you going to do about it? Now that you know it's real, what are you going to do? Because you can't keep playing this. We're like little
Oh
kids
no,
going
you're
into
right.
the game room. We get a quarter. We want to play the game. We beat the
Yeah,
game.
no.
Now what?
And you see, and you
Now
hit,
what?
you hit, you hitting on something deep. You hitting on something deep, Miss Blue, because like how you said, like I'm just thinking about when the spirit was really down, challenged me before, and I ain't took the step because I wasn't
Yes.
trusting myself, and I was thinking, what if I'm wrong about this or that, or
Yes.
what if this ain't the right move, and if I ain't going, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
what if I'm like, yeah, man.
So what are
And
you
yeah,
going
I
to
see it
do?
because that's where my frustration comes from. That's where my frustration comes from. And I'm starting to recognize that. But yes, ma'am, I understand what you're saying. So
Yeah.
now, yes, ma'am.
So now you have to do something about it.
You put me on the launch pad for real.
Well, I love that, Huey, and I'm excited for you. We need more people in many different areas sharing the work. You understand, whether we feed that into our music or whether we put that out in
Yes,
the
ma'am.
world. I'm going to tell you something, Huey. I had the opportunity, now get this, 24 hours before my son was about to touch down and come visit, and some family members come visit, I decided, and I shouldn't say I decided, but I had started watching this show, and it's called The Look. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's on Apple TV. I'm going to tell you about this because I want you to watch this. I want everyone to watch this because this was life changing for me. And it's been a long time since I've watched something that was so moving to me. And I'm going to tell you why, because it relates directly to what you're dealing with now and what's happening. And I'm going to make it short, but you know, Huey, my short stories is long stories. So y'all bear with me.
Hey, look, I don't
Entertain the
mind at
oracle
all. I
right
don't
now.
mind at all, Miss Blue.
Okay. So it's gonna be a spoiler alert. So if you don't like spoiler alerts, this is the time for you to click off because I'm about to be a spoiler alert, but you're still gonna enjoy it. So I had the Apple TV and I was doing some feng shui in my room. And I decided to start straightening up. And I said, you know what? I wanted to watch this movie because it's about something I really love. Like one of my first love is fashion and design. I actually went to school for interior design and fashion, fashion design. And so the Coco Chanel is in the story. Van Cleef is in there. All these fashion houses, as well as Christian Dior, is a part of the story. So I said, well, let me watch it. Well, I had no idea. I kind of had an idea because I've watched the story of Coco Chanel before. Love her story. And I wanted to see this adaptation of this story. So as the movie begins, it's during wartime. Keep in mind, we're talking about World War, was it one or two? Okay. So the story kicks off, and the story is about, it really takes you into Christian Dior. But this is before the world knew him as Christian Dior, which I absolutely love because it kind of takes you before. And I love documentaries, stories where people are writing these adaptations of people's lives and they're showing you how things that we see in our world in this time, how those things evolve themselves over time. So it talks about the Nazis and the Jews, all of this going on through the war. And I had to kind of check in with myself because I know I had a past life during those times. And so typically shows around war and especially World War I and II, I actually believe I was in both of them. They're very triggering for me. In a way, And so I kind of wanted to low key test myself and see, have I worked through those things? So I went ahead and I said, let me go on and put this on while I'm cleaning up. Well, the story goes in and the main focus is on Christian Dior. But before he was Christian Dior, so he's a young boy, and I'm going to tell the story. So again, spoiler alert, I don't want y'all sending me hate mail talking about you told the story. I'm going to tell this story. Okay, so Christian Dior, I'm skipping parts. But anyway, when he was young, he might have been about maybe 8 or 9 years old, give or take 10. He might have been a big 10-year-old. He was a little tall. So anyway, Christian Dior is there and you see his mother, and his mother is sitting in the chair and she's kind of leaning back in the chair and she is holding a baby. And she says, come here, Christian, come here. And he takes his sister, which is the baby, and she gives the baby to Christian. And she says, Christian, I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it, Christian. And he said, I don't think I'm going to make it, Christian. And Christian, You must take care of your sister, Christian. Christian, she's yours now, Christian. I'm not going to make it, Christian. You must take care of your baby sister. And his mom dies. So fast forward, the war is going on and the Nazis are moving into Paris. And they show Christian as a young man working for a fashion house. He's not famous now, but he's working for this fashion house. And in this fashion house is Pierre in there. It's like all of these designers before they were who's who. And at this particular time, what's happening is it's like the war is coming in. People are leaving. They're fleeing the country. It's uncertain times. All kinds of things are going on. Long story short, y'all. And when I say long story short, it's a long damn story short, but it's a good long story short. Christian is working in this house. And as he's working in this house, and he began to start working in this house, his manager comes to him and tells him, I need this dress. So Christian says, okay, I'll make this dress. So basically he's working himself, like really working himself a lot, right? He gets home. When he gets home, his sister and her boyfriend is in the house. And then there is another man in the house. And when the man, a young guy in the house, Christian comes in the house and he says, wait a minute, who's this person? And so the boyfriend says, oh, he's a friend of ours. He's going to be staying here for a couple of nights. So Christian is like, no, the hell he ain't. And this ain't safe. Y'all know the opposition has moved in. It's all kinds of things going on. And you shouldn't be bringing people you don't know nothing about in the house and this whole little thing. So anyway, his sister busts out Kathleen and she says, well, if he leave, I'm leaving too. Christian immediately says, no, you can't leave. And she says, yes, we're going to leave. He says, okay. Christian immediately stops. Huey, your call dropped and you can't get back on. I'm sorry, Huey, because we in the after hours. But if y'all want to hear the story, I'm going to finish the story. So anyway, Christian then tells them they can stay. Long story short, y'all, because this is a long story, but it's a good story. Christian's sister, Kathleen, gets captured by the Nazis. And she gets taken because they found out that she was a spy. And Christian spends his entire life, like y'all don't hear me, his entire life was to protect and to save his sister. But there are some key points in there because I walked away from that movie and I called my brother. I said, listen, I need a brother that's going to love me like Christian Dior loved his sister. When you see this kind of dedication he had for his sister. So I'm going to give you the overview. So Christian, when his sister gets taken, he does everything to try put his life in danger, all kinds of stuff. He could have been killed, but he is determined that Kathleen, his sister, is going to come back. She's going to come back and she's going to come back alive. And of course, we know through history, many people did not make it back. Christian is holding on to hope. I'm going to tell you how much he's holding on to hope. Fast forward. He had won an award for this outfit he made. And when he was having this outfit, Christian's mother gave him the burden. No, this wasn't a burden. This was love. This was love. And you'll understand. If you watch it, you're going to see this was love, because it was some powerful transformation that came out of this connection. So what happened is Christian is at this restaurant with his friends, and it's this jazz singer there. And she says, listen, everyone here, I'm skipping around. I'm just telling some key points. So when you guys watch it, you'll see it. She said, everyone here, we're here for celebration, but we know everyone here, someone has lost someone or been affected by someone during the war, or still is missing during the war, who has lost their lives. And so I'm going to ask that if you're here and you lost someone, during this horrible war, that you stand up so we can honor them. So everyone who went out to dinner with Christian is standing up. Christian don't stand up. So his friend looks down and says, Christian, get up. And Christian says, for what? He said, because they're asking for people who lost someone during the war to get up. Christian said, Kathleen is going to come back home. He didn't want to get up. He held that hope, even though he got so many signs that told him, this is where I'm getting to Huey, that Kathleen, his sister, was dead, or she wasn't going to make it back alive, and he would never see her again. To the point he was supposed to renegotiate his contract with his job, and his boss called him in, and they were all like, we're worried about you because you haven't signed your negotiation for the war. And Christian said, yeah, because when my sister comes back, she's going to really need my help and support, and I want to be able to have time off to be able to help her. And he was like, Christian, at some point, you got to give this up. She is not coming back. When I say he held it, he held it. Listen, then it gets critical. So some people are coming back, like they're letting some of the people out of the concentration camps, but most of them are dying because they have been beaten. They have been, all kinds of atrocities happened to them. They have been starving them. And so they are passing away. Kathleen is not there. I mean, he done did everything from hire people to, he done did everything. So finally, one of his friends tricks him into going to see this psychic medium. So y'all know I'm here for it. I said, oh, psychic medium? Oh, yes. I knew it was the reason I should have watched this. It wasn't exactly what I thought, but I was here for it. So he goes in to see this psychic. And so she's just kind of walking around the room. And as she walks around the room, she's like telling people stories, like she's saying, oh, I see a loved one and this happened and that happened. Oh, I seen this person and that happened, that happened. All of a sudden, Christian gets ready to start filling up with tears. He gets up and he leaves. So she follows him out into the foyer and she says, excuse me. She said, why are you leaving? And he says, oh, I have something I have to do. I have to go somewhere. I gotta do something. I gotta go somewhere. And she says, so you have to go? He goes, yes, I have to go. And she says, all of a sudden she gets this vision. And she says, I see a child. And this is causing you great pain. And he says, no, I don't have a child. And she says, well, I see you holding a baby. No, I don't have any kids. So the psychic just keeps looking at him because she's picking this up, like this strong energy. So she gives Christian her card and she says, look, if you change your mind and you need me, call me. I'm skipping a lot of parts, but these are some of the good ones. So anyway, finally, Christian calls her because he's lost all hope at this point, even though he's still saying, Kathleen is going to come home. So he goes to the psychic and he says, listen, is Kathleen alive? And she does something so beautiful. So whoever they had to either depict this story or reenact this story was a real psychic medium. And she hands him a clear quartz crystal. And he's holding it in his hand while she's talking to him. And she says, I want you to ask the universe if Kathleen is still alive. Because she knows Christian doesn't trust her. He doesn't believe in this process. So she knows just giving him an answer is not a solution. She wants to show him that he has it inside of him. And of course, that touched my heart because that's the way I am. It's not about me giving you the answer. I want you all to know that you have the answer inside of you. So he's holding the clear quartz crystal. And the crazy thing is, I have a clear quartz crystal that actually was sourced out of Arizona that was sent to me. And it looks similar to that. I'll show it and then we'll talk about the movie later. But anyway, okay, that's why I told you, Huey, you're going to see. So Christian has this clear quartz crystal. And he's holding it. And so she holds Christian's hand and she says, Christian, you have to open your heart. And he is filled with so much pain, so much guilt, because he had told his sister to stop doing, because she used to go out on her bike and pass along the messages that her boyfriend had her doing, because they were working against the Nazis, but he also knew it was dangerous. They had her doing it because she was a woman, and they felt like they wouldn't bother her as much because she was a woman. But they found out she was an informant, and that's how they caught her. But anyway, so Christian takes the crystal and he starts beating his chest like hard with the crystal. And he's saying, my heart is open, because there's a part of him, like they did. I love the way they told this story. It's like he was trying to say his heart is open, but he knew his heart was not open, and that there had been so much pain and, anguish that he was feeling, losing his sister. So he's beating his chest with this crystal. And finally, the psychic comes behind him. She sort of embraces and puts her hand on top of his heart and the crystal. And she tells him, close your eyes, relax in your body. And she says, ask the universe, and you must open your heart. So Christian is crying, but he's sitting there and he catches a vision of when his sister was little. And one day she was outside playing and he was in the house and he was calling her and he didn't see her. So he ran outside, and when he ran outside, she was in the woods. And while he was yelling, Kathleen, Kathleen, she came up and touched him on the side of his face. And when he turned, he could see like a little bit of light, almost like how Huey described what he was seeing. But it was like a little whisper on the side of his cheek. He could feel her. But as the story is unfolding, you're going to see that he was seeing her in a past time when she was young, but he was actually feeling her essence of her touching him. You find this out later in real time where she was. And so he opens his eyes and the psychic says to him, he says, is she alive? Will she come home? And she says, Christian, she is alive. He said, but will she come back? Will she come home? And she says, the only way that Kathleen can possibly find you, you two can possibly meet, is that you have to open your heart. And so he's like, how? How do I do that? She said, you must follow your inspiration. When she hit that line, I said, oh, they consulted a real good psychic for this movie. When she said, you must follow your inspiration. But here's the beautiful part. Christian left because he had already kind of like was checked out of his job. Like he's a designer. He almost checked out of his job. Christian left the psychic. She gave him a necklace with a crystal on it. Hold that thought. Leaves the psychic. He shows back up at work and he whips off his jacket. And when I tell you, he created the most beautiful, gorgeous gown that you've ever seen. Now, I'm going to share with you my personal story with Christian Dior. I know now, Christian Dior, a lot of what we see is handbags. Everybody knows the famous Christian Dior handbags, accessories. When I was coming up, Christian Dior was more famous for and they're still famous for these things, but we dress a little different in our time. But famous for these gowns that were incredible, like out of this world. Like I knew when I seen my first Christian Dior gown in person that even though I didn't have the language, that this was a channel that came from another dimension. And to now know that he channeled all of that energy into his design house. Because keep in mind, this is still before he became the world famous house of Christian Dior as we know it today. He channeled all that energy into his work. And he won the competition, and actually he beat out Coco Chanel. And so it tells that I guess the reason I'm sharing this with us all at this time, and I think it's so perfect for what's happening in the world, is because often when we're dealt with a hard blow or we're dealt with pain, or it doesn't even have to be pain or grief, but maybe we have regrets or even doubts about ourselves of what we're capable of and what the future may hold for us. And are we truly fooling ourselves into what we feel our heart desire is? And should we hold the course, or should we stay true to what we know to be true? We get into this crossroads or these states of sort of hopelessness. No, it doesn't matter how we get to the hopelessness. It doesn't have to be something tragic. It can just be our own self-doubt or just not seeing enough physical proof in our lives of things changing, shifting, and moving. And we want to give up, but there's something sort of gripping our spirit that doesn't allow us to give up. And so we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. We want to be excited, but there's a part of us that feels that maybe this is not the right excitement. If you can understand what I'm trying to articulate here. This was a beautiful spiritual depiction of how to take that energy and channel it into something and see the difference. And I don't think until now I would have had the exact sort of words or be able to share that, even though I've shared that with you guys when I'm doing the galactic e-files or when I'm doing the activation art, a lot of that is me channeling that energy, whether it's love and high frequencies, or whether it may be some of my doubts, or maybe it's some of my fears, or some of the things I'm working through of what it looks like when you surrender. You surrender it all and you follow pure inspiration. Because one thing about it, when you're following pure inspiration, nothing can penetrate that. You could be in your saddest moments, you could be in your painfulest thoughts, but if you follow inspiration, what that inspiration is for you at that moment, you will find the freedom that your mind, your soul, your spirit, and your heart needs. You will find it there and you will come out on the other side. It doesn't mean that what was troubling you will not come back, but it will not have such a grip on you or a control or a hold on you the way that it did prior to you following your inspiration. And they just did, that movie, an incredible job of showing what it looks like. And that's what we need. We need examples of what it looks like in the extreme, right? Because I think when I'm telling you guys in a subtle way, it matters. But when you can see it in this kind of extreme, it really translates beautiful. So I love this portion where he did that. And the next day, when everyone seen the gown he created, they were in awe. And everything after that, after he met the psychic and she told him everything after that, it's like it elevated him in his work. It elevated him in his craft. It elevated him in even his faith, of knowing that as long as he keeps following his inspiration, no matter how many times he cries, no matter how many times he breaks down, no matter how many times he has these night terrors about what's happening with his sister, that eventually, if he keeps following this inspiration, it is not just good for him, it is also good for her. And it's just this wholeness of them coming together. So fast forward, he finally gets his fashion house and he's working, because in the midst of all of this darkness, because not to mention it is still this very horrific war going on that's happening, and these atrocities happening to people for no reason, right? He still is following his inspiration. In fact, that begins to be the light that is sort of pulling him through this moment. Still, no one can convince him his sister is not going to come back. So another pivotal moment, he goes to his father. And I'm not sure what happened between the mother and the father, but he finally goes to his father. And his father pretty much tells him, look, I won't be able to take it if Kathleen is not alive. And she's probably not alive. And he indirectly blames Christian for the reason, telling him that he wasn't man enough. If he was man enough, his sister wouldn't have done this and she wouldn't have caught. Like if and he's trying to explain to his dad, like, look, I did everything I could. I told her to stop. I didn't want her to do it, and she did it anyway, you know. But he walks away from that. And after he walks away from that, it is a train coming in. And on the manifesto, it says that Kathleen, his sister, is one of the ones on the train. And so they're all waiting for this train to come in with their loved ones who have been prisoners of war, tortured, and all kinds of atrocity. They also had let them know that most of the people coming back, if they do make it back, they will never be the same. Never. And most of them will die. They won't be able to survive the ride. So at first he's excited because in his heart, Kathleen is going to be on this train. And everybody comes out. He's still looking, no Kathleen. So they have a rows and rows of these dead bodies of people who didn't make it. He gathers himself and he kneels down and he's looking at each one of the bodies because in his mind, he wants to see it. If Kathleen is gone, he needs to see it. And he's lifting them up, and one of the guards come and tell him he has to leave, that he can't look through it. But he's heartbroken. He's crushed. He's destroyed. Immediately, he doesn't go home. He goes to the psychic's house. It's dark 30 in the morning, and he is banging on her door, like literally about to break it down. And she comes to the door and he tells her, "You were wrong. Kathleen is not coming home. She's not coming back. And you were wrong." And she looks at him and she says, "Christian, she's alive." And he starts screaming at her, telling her, no, no. He takes the necklace she gave him, yanks it off and throws it in this pond, and he walks away. He walks away defeated, like it's a gripping moment because he's held faith through all of this. So anyway, he's now in what I like to call a zombie state. So he's back in a zombie state. He's not present. He's not conscious or aware. He's just going to work, doing what he does, and coming home. And as he gets ready to come home, his friend is at his house and he looks up and he says, "Oh, what's going on?" He says, "Yeah, I've been trying to get in touch with you." And he said, "Why?" And he looks at the door, and y'all, Kathleen is back in her room in the bed. Kathleen was still alive. So I'm not going to go into much more of the story, but it even gets even more deep then because she came back and he's hiring doctors to come and work on her. But Kathleen doesn't remember him. So he has her back physically, but now she doesn't even remember who Christian is. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to leave it right there because I want y'all to watch that movie so we can talk about it. I feel like we need to just have a whole breakdown of this story. And it's been on my watch list. I have a watch list of movies that I really want to watch. And like I said, what drew me to that movie, the inspiration that drew me to that movie was fashion, because I have a love for fashion and couture. You know, it was one of my first loves. I'm not into it as much as I was when I was younger, but I still have a love for that. And I knew it was a story about, and Coco Chanel's story, oh, that's just going to be one for the books, honey. That's my girl right there. I've always loved me some Coco Chanel. In fact, one of my nicknames growing up was Coco. That's another story for another day. But anyway, that whole Coco, you're going to see how Coco Chanel and Christian Dior intertwine. But what I also love is that Christian Dior is speaking in front of a group of college students. And they're asking him, how did he make it through Hitler's reign and the war? And he says this line. I'm not going to say this line, but I want y'all to remember this line. When you hear Christian say this line, you will never forget it. And that's where the story kicks off. Because this is him sort of reflecting. They're doing it as if he's reflecting back on what happened. And yes, it's on Apple TV. And I think if you sign up for Apple TV, and I don't think you have to have an Apple device to sign up for Apple TV. I think they do something like 30 days free or something. I'm not 100% sure, but if you know somebody who got an Apple device and they got Apple TV, is worth it. Tell them, let you just check out that movie, watch it. It is so good for so many different reasons. One, I think it's perfect to watch it at any time, but certainly now, because you get a chance to really see what inspiration look like, to know the difference between leading with your heart and surviving. And this is another point I want to make with the movie, because see, we are moving from a society, most of us here, from we are moving from being in fight or flight to moving to being more heart-centered. And you're going to see the difference between someone doing things to survive and someone following inspiration, and how the two paths meet, because they will meet. Yes, it is 8 episodes, but if you put the episodes together, it's like a movie. I mean, I watched it and, well, let me tell you, the movie got so heated, I had to stop. The first time I watched it, I only watched a couple of episodes, but Christian, let me tell you, be prepared. Christian Dior ass cried the whole damn movie. I got so sick of, I'm like, oh my God. Christian had me all in my feelings watching the movie. He was, that actor who played Christian Dior, off the chain. And the girl who plays Kathleen is in the movie Game of Thrones. She's the girl in Game of Thrones. But Christian ass cried the whole damn movie. And like I said, it still was some past life stuff. I told you guys about, I went to the Dachau concentration camp when I was a teenager living in Europe. And my parents gave me and my brother spending money. We went with our Catholic school at the time. We went with some nuns. So it wasn't a Catholic school, but nuns took us on this trip. And my brother was saving his money when we would stop other places on the way back home. I brought the book out of the gift shop there in the concentration camp in Dachau. That's how I know I had a past life. Because what child spends all of their money on a book about the concentration camp? In fact, they had to take me out of there because when I went in the gas chambers, I could hear people screaming and hollering in there. And while we were walking, I was telling the story as the guide was telling us about what was happening. I was telling people in my class, I said, underneath here is a tunnel. Under here is a tunnel, and this is where they used to roll the dead bodies in. And the guide looked at me and asked me, have you been here? How do you know that? I knew that. I didn't know as a young child then. I didn't know how I knew, but I knew because I had a feeling like I was there. I knew there was a church next door, not far from there. I knew where all the pathways were. When we got in the gas chambers and they were telling us that they would tell people to go in there to take a shower, but it really was gas to kill them. I knew that, and I could hear the people screaming. And I told my teacher, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here because these people are screaming. I could hear them screaming. And even when they took us through the, where they were cremating them, they would cremate people when they were alive. And I told them, please get me out of here. And then she took me next door to the church. I've told this story. And when I came out of the church, I had 2 huge, you know how you get a blister? I had 2 blisters filled with blood in the palms of my hand, of blood in my hand when we came out of the church. And one of the nuns that was the chaperone with us took me and put me on the bus, and she just started praying with me and told me everything was okay. Everything was going to be okay. But certain movies, especially when they're of that nature, I've always had that connection. To this day, my parents still have that book of the concentration camp. I was in middle school, so I would say maybe 12, 13 years old. I wanted to say this was before the kidnapping, because many of you know I got kidnapped by the KGB, taken to Czechoslovakia. I know it sounds unreal, but these are facts. These are facts. I've been kidnapped twice in my life, one inside of America and twice somewhere else. So just the first time I heard the story of the Oracle, I knew about the kidnapping. I guess I brought that back from a past life. But I want you to watch the movie. But I had to stop it halfway through. I'm just telling you, with some things in there, I just was like, okay, I got to breathe through this part right here and let me see if I can make it. But I'm going to tell you, Christian Dior. I don't think I own perfume by Christian Dior, but I'm going to dedicate some time to Christian Dior, let me tell you, is slept on. Yes, I'm serious. But Brother Bobby Hemmett was the one who first told me to tell my story about the kidnappings. And lo and behold, I did not know that where I was kidnapped at in Czechoslovakia, in Prague, well, it was in the Czech Republic, that was the first time I encountered the Black Madonna. I didn't know who she was, but when they were taking us where they were taking us to, they told us to look straight ahead, that we, just to walk and look straight ahead. And I looked over my shoulder and I seen on the side of this building, because my parents would always tell us, if you ever get lost, make sure you look around at landmark things. And I learned that from the Girl Scouts. You look at, so if it's a tree that looks a little odd, you remember that. So if you ever get lost, they didn't prepare me for getting kidnapped, but getting lost. But I looked up at this building and I seen this gold-like gate, and I seen this all-black statue of this woman covered with the veil holding a child. I didn't know that was the Black Madonna then, but that was my first encounter of the Black Madonna. And so I kept that memory, because I thought, if we get out of here, I got to remember where they're taking us so I can remember how to find my way back. And then later, fast forward 20, 30 years, I, have my awakening. I connect with Brother Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic, all the great ones. And I'm studying Siba Haru. I'm studying with Ali Brother Ogun. I'm studying with all these great teachers, Queen Afua. I'm studying all this Kemetic science and everything. And I'm studying this history. And I see this picture. I was actually in the class and they're talking about the Black Madonna. And I'm thinking, I've seen this before. But I had no idea. And then one night when me and Bobby were having a conversation, he says, you need to tell that story, because that's what's going to free you. And it's a part of your journey. You've got to tell that story to people. And so many of you know, you've had the Black Madonna reading from me, which I channel the Black Madonna energy through me. But that was my connection with the Black Madonna. But that was years, and I had no clue, have never seen it, and never heard anyone mention it, never knew the name until much years later. So that's just a bit of my story, but also just to take it back to the concentration camp. When I came home and my mother, because I think I had something like maybe $30, and $30 back then would have been like maybe $200 now. I don't know. But anyway, my mom was like, well, what did you spend your money on, Blue? And I handed her the book, and my parents was looking at me like, why would you buy this? I really wanted it. I wanted that book. It was like I needed to have it. I bought that book. And the book tells you about that concentration camp and the history, the stories, everything in it. So, later, once I started working with the Akashic records and they revealed themselves to me, I realized I had a past life there. And that is why a child would want to keep a memorabilia from a place so horrific, such as that place. But the story itself tells many stories within the story. And I think it really shows a lot about inspiration, your dreams, following your heart, holding faith, losing faith, loving and being committed to yourself and to others. Listen, it's powerful. And I'm telling you, like I told my brother, I said, I need you to watch this movie. And if you ain't loving me like Christian Dior, baby, deuces. Because everybody need a brother like Christian Dior. When I tell you listen, for his sister, oh, he went in. He went in, and as a gift to himself, he expanded his consciousness and went beyond what he thought was possible as well. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. And like I said, I didn't talk much. I could go on and on about Coco Chanel in the story because Coco did her thing. Talk about inspiration and surviving. She mixed the two together. And Coco Chanel had a very unique and powerful story. You're going to find out about one of her favorite fragrances, where she got the name from, the whole story behind it. Like, it really pulls some pieces in from you to understand. And I say that to you, like when you all are coming and we have show names, or when I put up some of the digital products and the classes and I'm giving these names, these are not viral names. In fact, I would dare say in these modern times, Planet Remix, we have made these titles viral before anyone was using them. And I can confidently say that because if you check my archives, you'll see how long I've been using Cosmic, Psychic, Awakening. You will see these titles, Magic. You will see these titles, Self-Love. You will see these titles go back to where at that time they seemed like they were just way out there and no one was structuring or labeling things in such a way. It was more, the world was still more left-brained and no one was really sort of diving into these different aspects. But all of these things, it has purpose and it has meaning behind it. And this is why I'm telling all of you this from your name, from what you call yourself, whether that's online or offline, different posts that you're making on social media, different things that you're building with yourself, whether you have communities or, if you have groups or things that you're putting together and work that you're putting out in the world, allow that inspiration that lives inside of you, not just your joyful, beautiful inspiration, but all of your inspiration to be placed into those spaces. Allow that to really touch your spirit and touch your soul, because it makes a difference. And it's a way for you to leave your legacy behind. Now, I'm certainly not the first oracle, but I will tell you, in modern times, in these times, no one else was. Oracle wasn't a popular title. That wasn't a title that a lot of people was calling themselves. And so I am happy to have had the reemergence of bringing that title of oracle back. And I think it's a comfortable title that many people have felt comfortable calling themselves an oracle. You know, a lot of people felt comfortable saying psychic and medium, but oracle that was a little different. You understand? But now people are feeling comfortable to call themselves these things when they feel truly inspired to be there. And that's the same for you, you know? Don't just follow. Don't just follow these pathways of what people are doing. And don't feel like you have to follow that. Make sure that you understand that if something is saying this is what you should do it. So what if it doesn't do exactly what you think? You will always stand to win when you are following your inspiration. Pure inspiration is like pure love because it is built from love. It is built from spirit and it is built from love. And so when you're following pure inspiration, you never lose. You only can grow and evolve from that. And so I hope you all check out the movie. I really enjoyed it. It'll be something great. And I would love to hear your thoughts and for you to come back and let me know if you watched the movie, what you got out of the movie, what were some of your very strong takeaways from the movie, The Look. And it's on Apple TV. They did an incredible job of storytelling in it and taking you through this timeline of both Coco Chanel and also Christian Dior and his sister Kathleen. But that's the joke. If someone is in my life, I want to love them like Christian Dior. And I told my brother, if you're not coming like Christian Dior, everybody need a brother like that in their life. I'm telling you. It was just beautiful the way he held the faith for her. And of course, I absolutely loved the fact that Christian Dior and his sister, I loved the fact that how they brought the story together from beginning to end. I absolutely loved that. I love that. I love the way they did the storytelling. It was beautiful. It really was. It was beautiful. Some traumatizing parts, but it was overall, it was really, really a very, very great movie about inspiration, about survival, and, ultimately about love and, and mixed in with some history. So it's some beautiful things in there. Lance said, the second time I heard Oracle in the context after you, Raspberry, was in the movie. Yeah, The Matrix. A lot of people told me that. And that's not a name I gave myself. People gave me that name. Just for years, I didn't know too much about Oracle. So I was like, you want to call me an Oracle? Okay. And, then I started calling myself the Oracle. And believe it or not, The Matrix is a movie that when it came out, I could not watch it. I think the one time I was going to watch it, soon as it cut on, I was watching it with my son and my daughter. I fell asleep the whole movie. The moment the credits came on, I woke up. But I realized at that time, my consciousness did not want to open up to that for whatever reason. And I trusted that. I just could not watch it. Whenever I sat down, either something came up. I have never watched that movie from start to finish. Now, I've seen a lot of previews. People have talked about it a lot. I haven't watched it. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I will. Maybe. But yeah. So listen, I have enjoyed our time together. I love you all. I want to say thank you all, each and every single one of you, for being a part of the remix, supporting our platform, supporting me, because that means so much to me that I get to do what I love and spread this love with each and every single one of you. I get to see you grow. I get to see you evolve, and we get to have this connection together. It really is soul work for me. I love each and every single one of you. I want you to keep trusting yourself, keep knowing your magic, and just if there's something right now you feel like you must give up on or you want to give up on when it comes to you, if you feel it's time to do that, because granted, it may be some things we need to change, let's do it with love. Let's do it with love. And let's replace whatever we take away, whether we're fasting, whether we're changing our habits, whether we're getting rid of physical things. It's around spring cleaning, whether it's things that we're letting go, that we make sure we feel that either energetically or physically with something of a higher frequency that is there. Don't forget, while we're loving everyone else and we're caring for everyone else and we want to be of service, because I know that if you are here, you are a part of the beings on the planet, each of us, that is helping us to build this new world. And because we are truly growing up on earth and we are doing it responsibly and we are leading with love, that you make sure you never forget that X marks the spot, marks the spot, and that you don't forget about you and to love on you, to be kind to you, to treat yourself in something. We want to have faith in so many things outside of ourselves. Don't forget to have faith in you as well. Don't forget to put those big dreams in you too, to invest in yourself and to love on yourself. So I look forward to reading your comments. That's always one of my fun things to do. I love you all, and I thank you all for being a part of Planet Remix. Don't forget to like, share, and pass it on. And don't forget to make sure, if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that maybe can take something away, make sure that you pass the show on as well too. And don't be afraid to leave a comment as well. You guys know I do this work. I do it because I love it. Absolutely. And, your comments, your rating of the show, all of these things help. It helps to expand and putting more out in the world of what we want to see more of. So on that note, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Love to you all. And everybody who got the Starlight Essence, don't forget your liquid magic. Keep taking that liquid magic. I'm loving reading your feedback on everything. Don't forget to check out the digital download store. Oh, and lastly, I got to say this. I want you all to make sure you're on the newsletter. And how you're going to get to the newsletter is you need to go to the remix _ just one _ radio on Instagram and click the link in my bio and make sure you're on that list. If something changes, perhaps, maybe, right? Because tonight I sent a notification out on the text line. I don't know if that's still going to be available in the future. So I will have other ways for us to communicate, but make sure you're also on the email list so you can get notifications as well. I know I haven't been sending out anything in the email list, but that is about to change. And so I want you to be on the email list. Don't forget, if you want me to come to a city near you, shoot me an email. We can talk about it. We can chat about it. I can let you know as my plans unveil. I will let you all know ahead of time because I am going to be doing a in-person event. The goal is for 2024. I'm putting it out there into the ethers and really working towards fulfilling that goal. So, yeah, because I would love nothing more than to see you all in person. I think that will be just incredible and beautiful as well. So I love you all. Be good to each other. Love to all the moderators, Brother Lance, Lola Falana, and Mr. Dante. I love you all. Peace and love, soul family. Peace and love. Ciao.